The boys were in the family room playing some car game on the system Mark had connected to the surround sound. When Tricia had suggested using their home for the dance group's recital sleepover, her 3 boys had complained about the house being overrun by girls, until she'd suggested they each invite one of their friends to sleep over. Yes, it made things a bit more challenging, having a house full of 15 children, but what was life without something fun to shake things up? Maybe all this sugar so late at night wasn't the best idea? Tricia lifted her mug of coffee. No, but this is. It was after 9, and she was on her 2nd cup, and it wasn't decaf. Normally by now she'd be in bed, cuddled up beside her husband, watching one of their recorded shows. But she had a funny feeling there would be no sleeping or cuddling or anything else until the wee hours of the morning. When is the pizza coming? Mark glanced at his watch. Any time now. I ordered extra, knowing what the boys are like. No doubt they'll be sneaking into the kitchen while we're sleeping and raid the fridge. There'd better not be any sneaking tonight, not for food or anything else. Tricia shook her head at the thought. She had a house stuffed full of children ranging from the ages of 8 all the way to 13, and even though the majority of the kids were girls, she wasn't naive. Girls could be the worst culprits when it came to troublemaking. Is Maya still here? Mark eyed the empty cup at the table, where Maya had sat a little while ago. She just went out to her car. She brought the girls some party bags to celebrate their first recital and needs to hand them out before she leaves. The kids did pretty good tonight, didn't they? Mark sounded a little surprised. Did you expect anything less? Maya's a good instructor. Oh, I knew that. But for most of these girls, this was their first public dancing gig, right? I don't know. I guess I was expecting something a bit more childish. And Katie, for all her grumbling and complaining, she actually did pretty good. I know, right? She was so proud of her daughter, even though after this recital, Katie wanted to take a break. She wanted to try something different, and Tricia didn't have the heart to force her to continue something she wasn't enjoying. Unlike her cousin Lyla, who was in swimming and dance and had been for a few years now, Katie so far had tried swimming, ballet, baseball, soccer, gymnastics, wall climbing, and dance. Maybe one day she'd find an activity she really liked. Has Allie called yet? Tricia shook her head. They're probably all at the restaurant still. Give her another hour and then she'll probably send a text asking about Lyla. Actually, she'd be surprised if it took her sister an hour. She knew tonight would be hard for her. If Scott was smart, he'd keep her occupied. She'd already talked with Rachel, who promised to keep her out as late as possible. To say Alyson tended to be controlling was being generous. Allie was not just a control freak, but a helicopter-style mother who wore the pants in her family and organized everyone and everything around her. She needed to be 100% in control of every facet of her life. Tonight was the first time Allie had ever allowed her daughter to join a sleepover at someone else's home. It was a big deal. Tricia had been asking for more than a few years now to let Lyla stay over, but it never happened, until now. This recital party sleepover came about not because she felt it important for the kids to celebrate like this, but because she knew Lyla would be so excited that Alyson couldn't say no. Not to this. Not to a sleepover that included every single one of the girls from the class. Tricia had worked her magic on her sister, even to the point of letting Allie think this whole sleepover business was her idea. Doesn't it seem like Maya is taking a while? Mark gave her a look, and she knew he thought she should check and see. First, she called the dogs and sent them into the back room where she'd arranged their dog beds for the night, and then closed the door. The last thing she needed was to have them underfoot when the pizza arrived. When she went outside, Maya was sitting on the wicker chair on her front porch, a large box at her feet. She was hissing words into her phone. Tricia debated whether to let her friend know she was there or just head back into the house. I'm beginning to hate you, you know that, right? Maya said into the phone. Maya? Tricia spoke her name softly, so as not to startle her. Maya waved her hand.